Hello, everybody. It is time for this week's De-JOE-tional. Thanks for joining me for this weekly devotion that may uplift you, may inspire you, it may put you to sleep. Either way, here we go. This one is a video that I saw. I'm not going to show the video, I'm going to talk about it. That was from Jennifer Baird. She's the senior pastor of the Jackson Revival Center Church. It's a rapidly growing non-denominational church, ethnically diverse in Jackson, Mississippi. And she's got that southern thick accent, man. And she is all, y'all doing this and y'all doing that. And it's a pretty entertaining video. But I caught a video of the Tater family. And she talks about these are the kinds of people in your friend group or your organization, but she focused on church. This is the group of people, the family in your church that you want to try to avoid. So let's just dive right into it, if you will. First of all, there's the Spectator. Now, the Spectator shows up for everything, quietly sits in their seat, but never gets involved. They inspect things, and they like to point out mistakes. Like when there's a coffee stain on the carpet, or when Pastor Jay says afterwards and brings out his nice Maine accent, or when the sound's not quite right, either in the house or on the video. These are the spectators. They don't want to do anything. They just want to point out the mistakes. They want to be part of the outcome, but not part of the process. That's another quote. She didn't put that in her sermon. I saw that in a different thing, and I thought it felt like it belonged here. There are a lot of people, especially now, not just in our congregation, but everywhere. They want to be part of the outcome, but they don't want to be part of the process. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to get involved. So there's the spectator. Spectator is someone we need to keep an eye out for. The next one is the hesitator. We have plenty of these people too. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm finna do this. I'll do it when I have time. Maybe not right now, but sometime. These are the hesitators. You can't count on them. As much as they say they want to be involved, they never do. They never get there. So they can't be trusted. You can't count on them. So we want to stay away from the hesitators or recognize who they are. The next tater is the agitator. Ho, ho, ho. We all know some agitators. They're always stirring up trouble. They're always starting fires. They're not happy unless everyone else is miserable. They're part of the problem, not the solution. Not only do they pick out the mistakes at the spectator, but they make it bigger. They tell more people. They don't offer any suggestions or solutions on how to fix it. They just want you to know that it's a problem. The agitator, man, always stirring it up. We all have agitators in our lives too. So we got to stay away from the agitator. The next one is the imitator. Now the imitators, you could actually take the imitator a different way, that we like to imitate Christ. Oh, that's so sweet. But in this context, the imitator are people that are afraid to be themselves. They're always trying to act like somebody else. You remember the old phrase, keeping up with the Joneses? These are the imitators. They go along with the crowd even when they disagree. They don't like to stir things up. But they're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with the beautiful masterpiece that God created in them. So they try to act like other people. They behave like other people. They dress like other people. They're part of the same Bible studies or committees or whatever of other people, even when that's not really their thing. They're afraid to be themselves. So those are imitators. Then we have the dictator. He always has to be in control. It's his way or the highway. Doesn't compromise on anything. and gets upset when things don't go his way. Now, I'm going through all these, I'm sure, because I am, on each one, Spectator, Hesitator, Agitator. There are certain people in my life, in our church, that and different organizations that are immediately popping into mind. I got some people immediately popping into mind on Dictator too. Always have to be in control. They don't want to hear anybody else's opinion because everybody else is wrong. These people are dangerous because there's never any compromise. There's no leeway with them. And then they end up being agitators when they don't get their way. So this Dictator person, man, whoo, got to go. Next is similar to the Hesitator. It's the Rotator. These are people that like the church hop, they ministry hop, they committee hop, they friend hop. They commit, so they're not like the Hesitator. They commit, but they're not there very long. They find out right away it's not their thing and they quickly move on. So the problem with those people is that they cannot be relied on. You can't rely on them. You can't make plans 3, 4, 5 months down the road because you don't know if they're going to be there or not. They set a pattern of being unreliable. So those are people that we need to also be aware of in our church. And then finally, Pastor Baird mentions the Amputator. The Amputator just wants to cut everything off. They cut people off. They cut their committees off. They cut their church off. They cut everything off. They assume things that are going on aren't needed. They never consider other people's perspectives, and they just quit. There's no way to fix anything. So it's kind of a culmination of some other taters in this family. They don't want to try to fix anything. They just want to give their opinion, cut people off when they're wrong, or just end up quitting. These are the amputators. So these are all people that we know that we need to be aware of, possibly avoid, or possibly help along the way. Again, they're the spectator. They show up for everything but don't really get involved. They want to be part of the outcome but not part of the process. You have the hesitator who, I'm going to do this. Oh, I will. I'll get to it. Can't count on them. The agitator who's always stirring the pot. Stir, stir, stir. You have the imitator who's afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to give their opinion. They just want to go along with the crowd. You have the dictator where it's his way or the highway. The rotator who just isn't reliable. They just, yeah, I'll do it. Then they cut out early. And then the amputator who just finally gives up and says, nope, not going to have it. These are all people we need to be aware of, avoided, helped along the way. Identify who they are in your life, and let's try to avoid them as best we can. That's this week's De-JOE-tional, is brought to you by Pastor Baird. Once again, if you are a YouTube person or a TikToker or whatever, she's on there. I highly recommend. It's very entertaining watching this message from her. Just type in Pastor Baird or Jennifer Baird, Tater family. You'll love it. We'll see y'all next week. Blessings.